Greetings everybody, Nick DiVirgilio here, and today's video is on this TAMA Superstar Classic Exotix 7-piece drum kit in this killer looking matte Auburn elm burst finish. Let's go. TAMA has been making the Superstar drum kit for well over 40 years, and it's always been known as a great, affordable drum kit that just rocks. Plays all kinds of styles of music, of course, but it's definitely a rock and roll drum kit, and it just plays well, sounds good, and it's great to look at. Now, this particular kit is a Sweetwater exclusive, this finish, and what it reminds me of is the TAMA kits of yesterday, the wood finished TAMA kits from like the 80s, where the wood grain was really just shining through. You could really see it deep and lush, and this is a beautiful drum kit and a great throwback to the kits from 40 years plus ago. Now what's really cool about this kit is that you get 7 pieces. You get a 7x8-inch rack tom, 8x10-inch rack tom, and a 9x12-inch rack tom. Floor toms are great sizes. You have 12x14 and 14x16. What's cool about that is the shallower the diameter, the punchier tone you get. But you still have all the way down to 16, so you're gonna get nice big low end, all the way down at the bottom here, but a nice punchy sound because of the shallower drum. The kick drum is 22x18. Now you don't always need to use 7 pieces. You could take this kit in so many different configurations out to clubs, gigs, into the studio, because you have an 8-inch rack tom and a 16-inch floor tom and everything in between. So you can go out as a 4-piece kit, the full 7, whatever you like. And you can place these drums in any order you like too. You know, there's lots of great drummers out there that aren't putting the drums from small to big. You know, put the 8-inch tom over here and the 10 or the 12 over here and just have fun with the setup. That's what's so cool about having all the extra drums. Before I get into the details of the shell construction and the hardware, I'm gonna play the toms for you. First with the snare wires off. Here we go. Very cool, wide open, and super musical tone. Great interval between high to low. It's very musical. Snare wires on, I'll do the same thing. I don't get the chance to play with drums that have the small 8-inch tom that often. And whenever I do, it is so much fun to hear. I love that high-pitched crack. It's great. And this particular 8-inch drum has a great tone to it. One thing I want to mention before I get into the rest of the drums is the heads I have on the kit right now. I've outfitted this drum kit with Evans UV1 heads on the rack toms. With the drum kit out of the box, you get TAMA's Powercraft 2 drum head. It's a basic, clear, plastic head, and it sounds fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I encourage you to use those heads when you get the drums out of the box. But like I do with every drum kit I talk about here at Sweetwater, make sure you experiment with other drum heads. You know, other drum heads really change the tone of drums. And you might have favorites that you go to already. Evans are great heads, but there's Remo, Aquarian, all kinds of great options. 2-ply heads would make this drum kit sound awesome as well. The UV ones I picked because I love the coating. I love it still that it's a single-ply head, and you get the wide open texture of the drum sound. So again, I encourage you to change up the drum heads when you get a new drum kit anytime. With that being said, I'm gonna get into the sound of the kick drum right now. I have the kick drum outfitted with an Evans EQ4 on the batter side. There is a hole on the front head, a tiny bit of dampening on the inside, pretty basic stuff. And here's how the kick drum sounds with the snare wires off. Very nice, punchy, musical tone, lots of low end, especially from the drummer's perspective. I'm using a TAMA Iron Cobra pedal, and that has a felt beater that's pretty small and very focused, so you're gonna get a nice, punchy sound out of this kind of kick drum pedal. But whatever you have, it's still gonna sound great. So let me turn the snare wires off and do the same thing. What's really cool in my opinion about this kick drum is that it's very sensitive. When I play quietly, you really hear a distinct tone, you hear the low end at a very low volume. So you really get a nice accent when you really kick in and hit hard. It's really nice. Now let's get to the snare drum here. It's a 6.5 by 14. What's really cool is most of the time with drum kits and shell packs, you don't get snare drums, right? You have to buy another snare drum, but you get the matching, great looking, great sounding TAMA snare drum on this kit. Here it is with the snare wires off, and I'll turn the snare wires on as I'm playing. It's got a great, very easy to use throw off over here in strainer. It's just a pull back strainer. So while I'm playing with my right hand, I can easily pull the snare wires on and off while I'm playing. Now that you've heard all the drums, let me tell you how these shells are constructed. For the rack toms, the floor toms, and the snare drum, they're 5 millimeters thick. You have 4 plies of maple and 2 outer plies of elm. It's a really nice combination. That's why you're getting this great punchy tone. Now for the kick drum, it's 7 millimeters thick. You get 6 plies of maple and 2 plies of elm. The drums all have perfect 45-degree bearing edges, so nice musical tone all the way around. One last thing I want to mention about these drum shells is that there's no reinforcement rings. It's just the straight shell, so you get nice wide open tone. All right, I talked about the shell construction, the tone, the edges, the heads I put on here. Let's play these drums some more. Here we go. All right, now it's time to talk about the hardware on this great kit. Very cool low mass lugs. Only a single point, like a single screw, is holding that lug on, so it's low mass, just adding more to the resonance and sustain of the drum shell. TAMA calls their mounting system the Star mounting system. It's really cool. The drums hang freely. The coolest feature about this, in my opinion, is that the mounting system is not round. They bent the metal at certain areas around the mounting system. And what that's doing is making it so you can get the drums closer together. Sometimes with mounting systems, as cool as they are, you still have the drums kind of far apart. But just this little bit of bend makes the drums actually get closer together. Another cool thing to mention about the mounting system, especially on the 8-inch rack tom, is that it stops about 3/4 of the way around the drum. And since the 8-inch rack tom is mounted on a cymbal stand, you can get the drum really close to the first rack tom. The clamp and tom holder for the 8-inch rack tom comes with the kit. It's TAMA's fast clamp, and you get the universal ball joint and tom holder. Works great, and you can place it anywhere you want. Next thing I want to mention is that you get an old school double tom holder that's connected to the kick drum. Wow, so many years drummers played rack toms connected to their bass drums. It was only later on that we got into the whole virgin bass drum thing and you had to mount your toms off of cymbal stands. Well, drums can still sound great with the toms mounted directly on the kick drum. The claw hooks on this TAMA kit are really nice. They're rubber lined, and what they're doing is protecting these hoops. Now, if you notice, I haven't talked about the finish that much yet, but the hoops are the same finish as the rest of the drums. So you want your claw hooks to protect the hoops and not scratch them, ding them, dent them, anything like that. These rubber-lined claw hooks are doing a great job of that. The last thing to mention about this great kit is the finish. Matte Auburn Elm Burst Finish. What I like about the burst is that it's not too strong. Sometimes bursts go all the way to black, at the edge of the drums. This burst is really light. You really see the wood grain coming through on the wood, and it's just lighter in the center as compared to the outer edges of the drum. The drums look beautiful under these lights and would look great on any stage. I definitely want to encourage you to check out the text below this video, links to all the other great gear I'm using here. I have some fantastic biodynamic microphones on the toms and kick drum and snare drum, great Meinl cymbals, the Apollo 8P, and Pro Tools. All of this stuff will have links below the video, and you can click right there to check any of it out if you'd like. And there you have it, everybody, this TAMA Superstar Classic Exotix 7-piece drum kit in a Sweetwater exclusive matte Auburn Elm Burst finish. These drums not only look great, they sound great. You can play these drums with any style of music, on the road or in the studio. You'll have a lot of fun playing these drums. If you want any more information about this TAMA product or any other TAMA product, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer, and thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click right here for more videos just like this one, or start at sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.